guys, I'm Mike Manalo from the Nerds of Color. How are you?
Hey, Mike.
Hey,
Wait, show us the fit. Show us the fit.
of course.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
You went all out.
I wanted to be
Mikey.
part of you guys, honestly.
Mikey.
That's why I'm sandwiched in between the Sparrows and the Hargreeves.
Oh, yeah. I see you haven't picked a side, eh?
I'm leaning towards this side, if you guys are okay with that. You know,
Always.
we don't really need these guys. That's okay. I mean, no offense, Justin, but
Justin's
Brellies are
50-50.
bust. Brellies are bust.
no, it's such a pleasure to have you guys back. Honestly, I miss this show so much. Whenever you're not on, I miss it, and I just love the opportunity to talk to you guys. So thank you for this. If I could start with Emmy, really quickly. Last season, Allison had perhaps the richest and most complex arc in the previous season, dealing with a lot of issues like racism, things that we're still dealing with today as well. How do you think that's really shaped Allison this season? And what do you hope audiences really can take away from everything that she's experienced and how she's grown?
I think, Steve and I and the writers' room had a lot of conversations about Allison's journey for this season, coming out of season 2 and everything that she experienced and what she survived, to be completely honest. And so I think we would be doing her a disservice if we didn't address the lingering effects and the lifelong trauma that is going to, kind of follow her after that experience. And I think that is a statement for any marginalized person. I think we all experience and carry so much trauma with us, and there are so many different ways of handling it and overcoming it and working through it and with it. And so I think this is, this is in this moment in this season, this is Allison's journey of how she's working through it. It's not necessarily the best choice of how to how to handle it, using your powers against the people that love you the most. But it's always a process. Trauma is comes in many different shapes, sizes, colors, forms, and everybody handles it differently. And I just think it was really wonderful to kind of experience and move through that journey with Allison this season, and just kind of the slow crumbling of her usually very well put together facade.
Of course, I love that. For Justin, what was it like to play a non-dead version of Ben for once, but also a completely different character and in a way?
It was a lot of fun. It was also a really large challenge. To come back in a very different form with a character that I've played for 2 seasons, but now in a different iteration of it. I think as actors, we're always looking for challenges. So to be able to be stretched in that way and to sort of be able to embody this character, both physically and vocally, was a real treat. And honestly, to be able to look Emmy and David in the eyes while we were doing a scene together was all I've been waiting for the past 2 seasons.
Wonderful. And last but not least, David, one of the highlights of last season as well was seeing Diego and Lila just light up the screen with that chemistry. What was it like really working with Rito again? How do you think your relationship has evolved?
Well, it's gone really steamy, if you ask me.
Okay.
But it's been quite nice because you're having, you have this kind of chameleon come into the second season. And now in the third one, you kind of are just trying to understand, especially Diego seeing Lila is like, there is nothing she can throw at him that he isn't surprised by, because she's such a chameleon at times. So bringing obviously Stan into the mix for the third season, it's much more of a growth within themselves to maybe see if they can actually be a couple.
Very good to hear. Well, glad to have you guys back. So excited about this. Can't wait for folks to see the season. And thank you guys so much for everything. I'll see you at the Academy. Hope you don't mind me dressing up for the occasion. I had to represent. But
we love it.
It's fantastic.
You look amazing.
Which side do you choose? Sparrows or Academy? You're in the middle.
I'm in this side. I'm going to choose this side every time. I promise.
Glory supporter.
So first off, not gonna lie to both of you guys, just don't tell the others. You two are my favorites on the show, always, forever.
Yeah.
Always, forever?
Always and forever, yes.
That's so kind. You're our favorite.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now, in the interest of playing favorites, you guys have a new, team of superheroes to contend with, the Sparrows. I got to ask, which of the new characters were your favorites, and who has the best powers among them?
None of them. Hate them.
For his power of ambiguity. I don't quite know what he does.
Oh yeah. You know what? Actually,
He
I
has a
like.
good time with disco lights. I know that.
I really like Alfonso's power.
Should I
It's
mimic
like
him?
so lazy, huh? No, I wish I did, but like you don't have to do anything.
You know the downside of that though? He's really feeling the injuries.
No, he's not.
Yes, that's why he's all like deformed, like fire wounds and
Yeah,
all
but he
this
doesn't
type
feel
of
the
stuff.
pain.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. That's a good point. He doesn't seem. His
But he
chin
doesn't
falls
care
off
about
at
what he
once and
looks
didn't feel
like.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this coming out? Are the spoilers allowed?
Some, but not a lot.
All right. Well, those are
We'll just
mild
cut
ones.
everything we just said for the last 5 minutes.
I think it was vague enough that folks
30
won't
seconds.
folks will pick it up later.
Right.
Don't worry. But yeah, thank you guys for that. Ritu, I have to ask. I mean, one of the highlights of last season was seeing you and Lila and Diego really just have this amazing chemistry, this forbidden love, in some ways. What can audiences and fans expect to see from this relationship in season 3?
Well, this time the relationship gets a little bit tested. She comes back and she's she's there to see the fam. I can't say anything. I don't want to spoil it, but there's some really fun, really exciting stuff between them, and I had an amazing time working with David. So I'm excited to see what people think.
I think they're gonna love it, and you guys are always excellent together, so they're definitely tuning in for that, for sure. Aiden, I have to ask. I love how every season one of the reasons 5 is one of my favorite characters is just he's always got it together. You know, he's kind of the adult in this family for the most part. He's always been the most level-headed for me. But I have to ask, do you think he ever gets frustrated just being like the one with the plan, the one that has to rein everyone in together, all of that? What do you think?
5 feels like he's speaking with children, but he loves his family. It's the end of the world, so it's sort of on the back burner for him. The main struggle is just trying to keep everybody on task, because they're all 30-somethings dealing with a very crazy world that they've been put in, and they're trying to find the best way through. And 5 is like, that's great, but let's find one where we all survive, right? Come on, guys. Right?
All right.
So that's 5. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. At this point, you guys have done 3 or 2 seasons together. You've known each other pretty long. Do things really feel like a family when you guys get back together every single season?
Yeah, it's so much fun, especially if it's been like a little bit, since seeing each other. I can't wait to see everyone and get back on set. And this time we got to really hang out. One with like lockdown, everything was closed, so it's just like getting to hang out more and missing family. So we've bonded even more so. And we've got to do lots of acting together, which is always nice. Acting.
Well, it really shows that chemistry comes through very, very well. You guys are just amazing. I can't wait for folks to see this season. Honestly, thank you guys so much for your time, and I can't wait to tune in to Umbrella Academy Season 3 when it returns.
Thank you.
Oh my God, it's so good to have the Umbrella Academy back. I missed you guys, honestly, for so long that you were in between Season 2 and 3.
Yeah, it's been too long. It's been 2 years.
It's been ages.
Yeah, but you know what? Consistently still the best show on Netflix, in my opinion.
Oh,
love you guys.
Thank you.
Take that to the bank. Let's
Take
get
that.
that in writing, Mike.
You have it in video, so that's even
Yes,
better.
even better.
So really quickly, I mean, you've done 3 amazing seasons. At this point in time, I feel like you guys have worked together so much. Does it feel like a real family? I mean, just coming back together and everything.
Yeah, it kind of does, man. Like
Adopted family.
Yeah, it really is. And I think our relationship with each other, has got to that point. And it's very, there's a synergy to it, the way we are siblings on camera, and we feel a little bit like that as a group of friends on set. We all work in a similar way, and we do jab at each other, and we do have like banter, but we're also, always there for each other. So
Yeah, and even like if people have little fallouts and stuff, it's very similar to sibling rivalry and whatnot, you know. So it's nice.
That chemistry really just comes across on screen. I love it, honestly. Every time I get to see you guys, I love it. Robert, one of my favorite things about season 2 is just this comedic pairing that you had with Justin. Klaus and Ben were always together, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Obviously, because he's not dead in this season, you have that just a little bit less. Did you miss being able to shoot extensively with Justin and kind of have your kind of buddy pairing together?
Yeah. Don't tell him I said this, but yes, I did miss him. I really did. I really I really enjoy the crackliness of our buzz, and it was there almost effortlessly from the get-go, really, you know. And it meant we could go to pretty extreme emotional places together, and you know, we were blessed to have Justin. I did miss him. And when the series started off this time, both himself and myself were kind of needling Steve, Overlord Steve, the showrunner, going, we got to acknowledge, you know, we got to spend a little bit of time. We got to find somewhere for just me and new Ben, you know, to just have a sense, you know, a shadow of the previous seasons. Mm-hmm. And we got that. We do have that. Mm-hmm. And it grows as the season kind of gets near the end, you know.
And I might add actually that it was so great for the rest of us to have the opportunity to work closely with Justin.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't had that.
You couldn't see him before.
Couldn't see him. We didn't even know he was there.
He was our Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was something I enjoyed about this season as well. One of the other things I enjoyed about this season, Tom, Luther's arc is wonderful. There's this air of redemption after having such a rough go at it the past couple of seasons. What was it like to really dive deeper into that character and collaborate with Steve and the writers to truly evolve him even more?
Yeah, I mean, he, like you say, he's been given a rough time of it, you know, and I think that's the whole thing of life, right? You go through trauma and you learn from it, and you try to, I think it's especially Luther, you know, he's always trying to learn from his mistakes, and I think he's made a lot of them, but he's also been through huge amounts of trauma that isn't his fault.
Yeah, he's had a lack of guidance, really.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, and it always that desperation for that father figure that he never had, and I think there's an element of that still hanging over him. He never loses that this season, but what he does have is a support unit in his family, but also this girl that he meets that is bringing something out of him that he's never had before. Yeah. Like pure joy that he's falling in love with someone, and for a girl that sees him for who he really is and not just the body that he's become. So it's really nice to have that fleshed out in this season.
Absolutely. I can't wait for audiences to see it and the rest of the series too when it hits Netflix on June 22nd. Thank you, gents, so much. This was an honor. I appreciate it.
You're dressed as an Academy member. Look at you.
I am.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, thank you for making that effort.
Absolutely. Thank you for making an amazing show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Hi, Steve. I'm Mike Nall from the Nerds of Color. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
So getting into it, I just wanted to say, love this season. It's so much fun, but they all are fun. I miss it when the show's not on the air, honestly. I just want to thank you for bringing to life one of the best comic book series of all time.
I so appreciate it. Thank you for saying that.
Of course. So really quickly, when it comes to adapting the storylines that Jared and Gabriel kind of put together, I know that the show kind of does things a little bit differently and to almost even better effect sometimes, when it came to the Hotel Oblivion storyline, where did you kind of decide where to stay pretty close to the material or be inspired by the material versus where to deviate?
I think this season we were more inspired, and a lot of that had to do with pure finances. Some of the, the most recent graphic novel was so fantastic, but it wasn't a linear storyline. It went crazy places. It was very hard to translate that to a television show. So we wanted to springboard as much as we could from the graphic novel, but we did go in a slightly different direction. And Gerard's still writing away, and we were very close, so he's always keeping me in the loop of where he's going with the next graphic novel. And there's some really big unanswered questions within our world that I hope to, if we have a fourth season, if we're lucky enough, we can get to those answers.
I have no doubt that you guys are going to get to that fourth season.
I hope so.
It is spectacular. So I've got no problem, no qualms about that. So the hotel obviously plays a huge role this season. Bringing it to life must have been something of a challenge. Can you talk about the process of doing that and kind of envisioning it to life?
Sure. We knew we were sort of in the height of COVID in Toronto, so we built that. There's no set extension, VFX set extension. That is a set. It's a massive hotel we built with the hallways, 2 levels. It was really important for us to sort of give it its own character feel. There are a lot of hidden influences in there, and I won't tell you which movies are in there, but I could just say you can look for little Coen brothers, a little Kubrick in there. But definitely what inspired us was the Tenenbaums. The Grand Budapest Hotel was a real influence. But Carrie Meyer, production designer, just did a fabulous job. And sometimes you're in the hotel, you just forgot you were on a set. It was just so big and so much fun to be in.
I love that. One of the things that you guys handle so beautifully this season, honestly, is the transition of Vanya to Victor. And certainly a large part of that has had to have come from, of course, Elliot's choice to, change to become Elliot. Did you work with Elliot personally to discuss how that was going to happen and how that was going to play out on the show beforehand?
Yeah, absolutely. Elliot told me that in real life he was transitioning, and put no pressure on me to write into this show, said, do what you want. But I felt it was an important thing to do. So I talked to GLAAD, I talked to a trans writer named Thomas McBee, and in collaboration with Elliot, we talked a lot about how to make the story authentic, sensitive, and it had to be a positive story we wanted to tell. At the same time, we didn't want it to become the story. So we wanted to handle it in a sort of a sweet way with the family and then be able to continue on with our storytelling.
I think it serves as an example of how to make these sorts of changes and play them as part of the story while also respecting what your actors want. So you guys did a phenomenal job on that. Wonderful.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course, we've got a huge new cast of characters. Of course, the Sparrow is joining this team. I got to ask, who was your favorite character to really adapt, and what was the best power to bring to life?
It's so hard because the Sparrow actors were so good. And I love those characters. Christopher was a lot of fun, I have to be honest with you. I know he's not a real actor, but just sort of how we gave him emotion and how we moved him and thought of the movement to evoke something from him, and that sort of weird voice that had the same sort of rhythm as our English would have. We had endless fun with that. It took us a long time to get it right, but I think Christopher could have his own spin-off. Christopher.
I would watch the hell out of that. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Steve, thank you so much for your time. Beautiful job with this season. Looking forward to everyone seeing it. Thank you.
The activists, directors, comments and the lectures, fanboys, professional artists and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life, comics, movies, and TV. Yeah, pop culture with a different perspective.